Every dealership has best sellers, the bikes that fly off the lot. But what about the ones that don't? These Japanese motorcycles were supposed to be a hit, but instead they are sitting in showrooms collecting dust, and now dealers are practically begging buyers to take them away. Stick around as we count down 7 Japanese motorcycles that dealerships are struggling to sell. And trust me, when we get to number 1, you will not believe how far prices have dropped just to clear inventory. Number 7. The Kawasaki Vulcan S. This bike was Kawasaki's attempt to blend modern sport bike performance with classic cruiser styling, creating a unique middleweight machine that could appeal to both worlds. But instead of becoming a hit, this bike has landed in an identity crisis, struggling to find the right audience. Now, dealerships are desperate to get rid of them, offering massive discounts, incentives, and even bundling accessories just to move inventory. At the core of the Vulcan S is a 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine borrowed from the Ninja 650. This engine is reliable, efficient, and smooth, delivering 61 horsepower and 46 pound-feet of torque. Weighing in at 498 pounds, it is lightweight for a cruiser and designed to be beginner-friendly with a low seat height and easy handling. Kawasaki even introduced the ErgoFit system, allowing riders to customize their foot peg and handlebar positions for the best possible comfort. On paper, the Vulcan S should be a great choice for new riders and experienced ones looking for a nimble cruiser. So why is this bike struggling to sell? The biggest issue is its identity. Cruiser buyers are very brand loyal and often expect the deep rumble of a V-twin engine, which the Vulcan S does not have. The parallel twin setup, while smooth and efficient, does not give the classic feel, sound, or low-end torque that cruiser enthusiasts crave. Traditional cruiser riders want a bike that feels raw and mechanical, but the Vulcan S is too refined and modern, making it feel more like a sport bike in disguise. On the flip side, sport bike riders looking for a more relaxed machine find it lacking in power. The Vulcan S, while quick off the line, does not have the high-revving excitement that sport bike riders expect. Those transitioning from a Ninja 650 or similar bikes often feel disappointed by the Vulcan's milder throttle response and less engaging ride. Then there is the design problem. Kawasaki tried to make the Vulcan S look sleek and aggressive, but for many buyers, it just looks awkward. The teardrop fuel tank and exposed frame do not have the classic cruiser charm, and the minimalist styling makes it feel unfinished compared to other cruisers in its price range. Speaking of price, this is another reason dealers are struggling to sell these bikes. With a starting price of $7,399, it is marketed as an affordable entry-level cruiser, but in reality, most buyers looking for a cruiser would rather spend a little more and go for a used Harley Davidson Sportster or an Indian Scout, both of which offer better styling, more power, and stronger resale value. The Vulcan S also lacks true touring capability. Unlike larger cruisers that come with luggage space, wind protection, and highway-friendly comfort, the Vulcan S is stripped down, making it less practical for riders who want a bike for long-distance travel. Kawasaki has tried to fix this by offering accessory windshields and saddlebags, but this only adds to the cost, making it even harder to justify over competing models. Because of these issues, dealerships are struggling to move Vulcan S models off the floor. Many have resorted to slashing prices, offering zero-interest financing, and bundling in free accessories like luggage racks, extended warranties, and even free maintenance packages. Some dealerships are even offering trade-in bonuses, hoping to make the deal more attractive to hesitant buyers. If you think this bike struggles to find its place, wait until you see the next one. A high-performance machine that used to be legendary but is now gathering dust. Number 6. The Suzuki Hayabusa. There was a time when the Hayabusa was the king of the road, the fastest production motorcycle in the world, and the ultimate symbol of raw speed. When it first hit the streets in the late 1990s, it was an instant legend, shattering top speed records and giving riders an unmatched sense of power. Even today, the latest version is a technological marvel, with an aerodynamic design, a high-performance engine with a displacement of 1,340 cubic centimeters, and a reputation that still turns heads. But despite its legacy, the Hayabusa is not flying off dealership floors like it used to. Instead, it is sitting in showrooms, struggling to find buyers, and dealerships are now offering massive discounts just to move inventory. What happened? How did one of the most iconic motorcycles ever built end up as a hard sell in today's market? Let's break it down. The biggest problem is the price. The newest model starts at $18,500, and that is just for the base version. Once you factor in dealer fees, taxes, and insurance, the cost climbs even higher, making it a tough pill to swallow, especially when newer, more versatile sport tourers are available at a lower price. The Hayabusa is built for pure speed, but in a world where riders are looking for comfort, technology, and practicality, it no longer dominates the way it used to. The market has changed, and so have riders' priorities. A decade or two ago, a bike that could hit 190 miles per hour was the dream. But now, many riders are more interested in adventure bikes, sport tourers, or versatile machines that can handle both long-distance rides and everyday commutes. The Hayabusa, for all its power, is still a big, heavy, high-maintenance sport bike that is not exactly practical for daily use. And that brings us to another major issue: the cost of ownership. Owning a Hayabusa is not cheap. Those massive rear tires? They wear out quickly and cost a fortune to replace. Insurance rates? Through the roof, especially for younger riders. Premium fuel, high-performance oil changes, and expensive maintenance costs all add up, making this bike a financial commitment, not just a weekend toy. Even with all these drawbacks, the Hayabusa is still an incredible machine, and for those who can afford it, it delivers a riding experience unlike anything else. But the reality is that most riders today want more than just raw speed. They want a bike that is comfortable, practical, and easier to maintain. And that is why dealerships are struggling to sell them. To combat slow sales, dealerships are now offering huge discounts, limited time incentives, and financing deals to move these bikes off their floors. Some dealers are even throwing in free accessories, extended warranties, or major price cuts just to get buyers interested. It is not uncommon to see dealerships knocking thousands off the sticker price in an attempt to clear out stock and make room for newer, more in-demand models. The Hayabusa is still one of the most impressive motorcycles ever built, but in today's market, it is no longer the must-have bike it once was. Riders today expect more than just straight-line speed, and that is why this legend is struggling to find a home. Speed is great, but in today's market, riders want more than just raw power. The next bike on our list aimed to be a game changer, but ended up being a nightmare for dealers. Number 5. The Honda DN01. Honda has been known for engineering excellence and innovative motorcycle designs, but sometimes even the biggest manufacturers miss the mark. The DN01 is a prime example of a motorcycle that tried to break boundaries but ended up confusing the market. Instead of appealing to a specific type of rider, it alienated multiple groups, leaving dealerships struggling to sell them. This bike was Honda's attempt to blend sport bike performance, cruiser comfort, and scooter practicality into one futuristic-looking package. On paper, it sounded like a brilliant idea, but in execution, it created a motorcycle that nobody really wanted. The design was sleek, modern, and undeniably different, but that was part of the problem. It did not fit into any existing category. At the heart of the DN01 is a 680 cubic centimeter V-twin engine, which delivers 61 horsepower. While that might sound reasonable for a commuter bike or mid-range cruiser, it simply does not justify the $15,000 price tag that Honda initially placed on it. For a comparison, at that price point, riders could have bought a much more powerful and better equipped motorcycle from either Honda or one of its competitors. That high price was a massive roadblock for potential buyers, and it is one of the key reasons this bike never took off. One of the most controversial features of the DN01 was its automatic transmission. Honda introduced its human-friendly transmission, a continuously variable transmission system designed to make riding easier. But instead of attracting new riders, this technology pushed people away. Sport bike riders who typically prefer full control over their gears found the lack of a manual transmission unappealing. Meanwhile, cruiser riders who are used to traditional V-twin torque and relaxed shifting did not appreciate the automatic system either. As a result, this feature isolated both groups instead of bringing them together. The problems did not stop at the powertrain. This motorcycle was heavy, tipping the scales at 595 pounds. That is an uncomfortable amount of weight for a bike with only 61 horsepower, making it feel sluggish when accelerating and unresponsive in corners. Unlike powerful cruisers that use weight to their advantage, the DN01 did not have the torque or aggressive performance to make up for its bulkiness. Riders who expected an effortless ride were instead stuck with a bike that felt awkward at low speeds and underwhelming on the highway. Because of these issues, dealerships quickly realized they had a problem. The DN01 was not selling and inventory started piling up. In an attempt to move units, many dealers slashed the price significantly, offering massive discounts just to clear space for better-selling models. Some dealerships even bundled in free accessories or offered extended warranties to try to make the bike more attractive. However, even with these incentives, it remained a hard sell because riders knew they were purchasing a motorcycle that was fundamentally flawed. Over time, the DN01 became one of Honda's biggest commercial failures, and it is now remembered as a strange experiment that did not work out. Today, you can still find them on the used market at surprisingly low prices, but even then, most buyers look the other way. If you thought that was a weird motorcycle, wait until you see the next one, a high-tech luxury touring machine that is proving to be too much for most riders. Number 4. The K1600. B. This bike is a high-end bagger built for long-distance travel, featuring a massive inline 6-cylinder engine, state-of-the-art electronics, and all the bells and whistles that a premium motorcycle should have. However, despite all of these impressive features, this bike is not flying off dealership floors. In fact, many dealers are desperate to get rid of them, offering huge discounts, special financing deals, and trade-in incentives just to move them out. At first glance, the K1600BI seems like a dream machine for riders who love high-performance touring. Underneath its sleek bodywork sits a 6-cylinder, 1,649 cubic centimeter engine that produces a powerful 160 horsepower and 129 pound-feet of torque. That is more power than some smaller cars, and the bike's butter-smooth acceleration makes highway cruising feel effortless. It also comes with an electronic suspension system, multiple riding modes, a 10 1/4 inch color display, and even an adaptive headlight system that adjusts as you lean into turns. But for all of its high-tech appeal, this bike has struggled to find buyers. The first major issue? Weight. At 741 pounds, this is one of the heaviest baggers on the market. While that weight provides excellent highway stability, it also makes the bike challenging to handle at low speeds. Maneuvering it in parking lots, tight spaces, or city traffic is not easy, even for experienced riders. Many potential buyers test ride it, love the power, but ultimately walk away when they realize how difficult it is to handle in everyday riding conditions. Then there is the price problem. The K1600B starts at $25,450, but with factory options and add-ons, the cost can quickly climb past $30,000. That puts it in direct competition with premium American baggers that have more brand loyalty and a stronger resale value. Many riders shopping in this price range prefer the familiarity of a V-twin engine over the inline 6-cylinder design of the K1600B, making it a hard sell in a market dominated by more traditional touring motorcycles. Maintenance costs are another issue. This is not a simple motorcycle to own. Its sophisticated electronics, advanced suspension, and luxury features require specialized servicing, which can be expensive. Unlike Japanese competitors, which have relatively affordable maintenance, the K1600BE demands premium upkeep. If something goes wrong, repair bills can be eye-watering, and not every local mechanic is equipped to work on this high-tech machine. All of these factors have led to dealerships struggling to sell these bikes, and as a result, massive discounts are being offered. Some dealers have cut prices by several $1,000s, while others are offering special financing deals, zero-interest loans, and extended warranties to entice buyers. In some cases, dealerships are even throwing in thousands of dollars in dealership credit for accessories, just to get these bikes off the showroom floor. If you have been eyeing a high-performance luxury touring motorcycle, now might be the best time to buy, as dealers are more willing than ever to negotiate on the price. Luxury motorcycles are not always easy to sell, but at least the K1600B has a clear purpose as a high-end touring machine. The next bike on our list, however, left buyers completely confused about what it was supposed to be. Number 3. The Indian Scout Bobber. With a liquid-cooled V twin engine, respectable horsepower, and a smooth ride, it was positioned as the perfect alternative to the traditional cruiser. But despite its head-turning design, the Scout Bobber is struggling to find buyers. Instead of being a top seller, it is sitting in dealerships across the country, with dealers now offering huge discounts just to clear inventory. One of the biggest reasons for its slow sales is the price. With a starting price of $11,999, the Scout Bobber sits in the premium cruiser segment, but buyers are not convinced it offers enough value for the money. When compared to some of its Japanese competitors, which offer similar performance for a lower price, many riders are choosing to go with the more affordable options. Then there is the Harley Davidson problem. No matter how well-built or stylish the Scout Bobber is, it still lives in the shadow of Harley Davidson's Sportster lineup. The Sportster has a cult-like following, an extensive dealer network, and the kind of brand loyalty that makes it difficult for any competitor to gain traction. For many buyers, if they are spending over $10,000 on a cruiser, they are going to choose Harley Davidson over anything else. Another issue is comfort and practicality. The Scout Bobber's low handlebars and solo seat look great but make it less comfortable for long rides. Many riders find that the riding position puts strain on their lower back and wrists, making the bike more suited for short, aggressive rides rather than all-day cruising. And with minimal storage options, it is not exactly a versatile choice for those who want a do-it-all motorcycle. Dealer networks are another challenge. While the Scout Bobber comes from a respected brand, it still does not have the same widespread dealership support as some of the big Japanese manufacturers. This makes potential buyers hesitant because finding service parts or customization options is not as easy as with other brands. Performance-wise, the Scout Bobber delivers solid power and torque, but some traditional cruiser riders feel it lacks the character they expect from an American V-twin. It is smoother and more refined than a Harley Davidson, which ironically turns off buyers who want that raw, old-school cruiser feel. To move these bikes off the lot, dealerships are cutting prices, offering zero-interest financing, and throwing in dealer-exclusive incentives like free accessories, extended warranties, and trade-in bonuses. Some buyers have managed to score thousands of dollars off the original price, making the Scout Bobber one of the best discounted cruisers on the market right now. It is a beautiful, well-engineered motorcycle, but its pricing, competition, and identity struggles have made it a challenging sell. A great-looking bike that just cannot compete, but the next bike was once a sport bike legend and is now struggling to stay relevant. Number 2. The Yamaha R6. For years, the R6 was praised for its high-revving engine, exceptional cornering ability, and aggressive stance. It featured a 599 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine that produced an impressive 123 horsepower, capable of reaching stratospheric revolutions per minute numbers that few bikes in its category could match. This machine was built for speed with a lightweight aluminum chassis, fully adjustable suspension, and cutting-edge braking systems that made it an absolute beast on the track. But while the R6 excelled in racing environments, it had one major flaw. It was never designed for everyday riding. The bike's extremely aggressive ergonomics made it incredibly uncomfortable for long-distance rides, daily commutes, or even casual weekend cruising. Riders were forced into a forward-leaning position with high foot pegs, which, while perfect for cutting through corners at high speeds, made it a nightmare to ride in stop-and-go traffic. The stiff, race-tuned suspension, which gave the bike excellent stability on the track, felt harsh and unforgiving on rough city roads. This made it less appealing to riders looking for a balance between performance and practicality. Another significant blow to the R6 was its discontinuation in 2021. Yamaha made the difficult decision to pull the plug on this legendary model due to tightening emissions regulations and declining sales. In its place, Yamaha introduced the R7, a slightly more accessible and street-friendly alternative that, while not as powerful as the R6, offers better overall usability for everyday riders. The R7 features a parallel twin engine, a more upright riding position, and a smoother power delivery, making it a more appealing option for modern sport bike enthusiasts. Beyond its impracticality, the high cost of ownership has also made the R6 a tough sell in dealerships. The insurance rates for this bike are significantly higher than those of other motorcycles in its class, largely due to its reputation for attracting high-risk riders and speeding violations. Additionally, maintenance on the R6 is not cheap. Regular valve adjustments, premium performance tires, and expensive brake components make upkeep a costly affair. For many riders, the sheer financial burden of owning an R6 has pushed them toward more affordable and practical alternatives. With the R6 no longer in production, dealers are scrambling to offload their remaining stock, but even with deep discounts, they are struggling to find buyers. Many dealerships have marked down prices by several $1,000s, while others are offering zero-interest financing and extended warranties to make the bike more attractive. Despite these incentives, the reality is that most riders today are looking for something more versatile, a bike that can handle both daily riding and spirited weekend rides. The Yamaha R6 was once an undisputed icon in the supersport world, a machine built for pure speed and performance. But in today's market, where versatility and comfort matter just as much as outright power, it has become a hard sell. The high insurance costs, uncomfortable riding position, and limited practicality have pushed riders toward newer, more well-rounded motorcycles. The R6 was a track weapon, but it is not built for the everyday rider. And finally, we have reached the #1 Japanese motorcycle that dealers are struggling to get rid of. Number 1. The Kawasaki Ninja 250. One of the biggest problems with the Ninja 250 is its lack of power compared to modern alternatives. With a 248 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, this motorcycle produces just enough horsepower to keep new riders entertained, but it struggles on highways and lacks the torque needed for quick acceleration. At a time when entry-level motorcycles are offering more power and better technology, the Ninja 250 simply cannot keep up. Riders today expect something that can handle freeway speeds comfortably, and unfortunately, this motorcycle feels sluggish when compared to newer competitors. Another major issue is its outdated carbureted engine. Unlike modern motorcycles that use fuel injection for improved efficiency and reliability, the Ninja 250 requires frequent maintenance to keep running smoothly. Carburetors need regular cleaning and tuning, and in colder climates, they can make cold starts a hassle. For new riders who do not want to deal with constant maintenance, this is a major inconvenience. Many beginners are now opting for fuel-injected motorcycles that provide better performance, easier upkeep, and improved fuel efficiency. The motorcycle's soft suspension and limited braking power are also areas where it feels outdated. Many riders have complained that the suspension is too basic, offering a spongy ride that does not handle bumps and turns as well as newer motorcycles. Its single front disc brake lacks the stopping power that riders expect today, making it less confidence-inspiring in emergency situations. Modern beginner bikes like the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and the Yamaha R3 offer stronger brakes, better handling, and more power, making them a superior choice for new riders. On top of all these issues, the Ninja 250 is facing tough competition in today's market. While it once ruled the entry-level sport bike category, the introduction of motorcycles like the Kawasaki Ninja 400, Yamaha R3, and Honda CBR 500R has made it completely outdated. These newer models offer more horsepower, improved handling, and modern electronics, giving them far more appeal to new riders. With more powerful and better equipped alternatives available, the Ninja 250 is simply not as attractive as it once was. Dealerships recognize that this motorcycle is no longer competitive, which is why they are offering huge discounts just to get them off the lot. Some dealers have been forced to cut prices by thousands of dollars, while others are bundling free gear, trade-in bonuses, and financing deals to sweeten the offer. Despite these efforts, many riders are still choosing to spend a little extra on a more modern bike, leaving the Ninja 250 stuck in showrooms. The Ninja 250 was once a revolutionary beginner motorcycle, but today it is a relic of a past era. Riders now have more powerful, safer, and better equipped options, making this motorcycle harder to sell than ever before. However, if you are looking for a budget-friendly entry-level bike, there has never been a better time to buy one, with the dealers offering steep discounts just to clear out remaining stock. What do you think about the Ninja 250? Would you still buy one at the right price, or is it simply too outdated to be worth it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this list, be sure to subscribe for more in-depth motorcycle content.